Thank you very much. I want to link to Florian's presentation because I have one tool which I would like to present, which is the Common Assessment Framework, which is part also of the toolbox of the public administration and public administration reform, because I think it's a good tool for public administration development, and it's a European tool. And furthermore, I'm from the Austrian CAF Center, so KDZ, my office is also the Austrian CAF Center, which is Common Assessment Framework, and that's why I would present it and have some ideas about it. I think my vision is that CAF could be used more for public administration reform issues in the European Union and also in the candidate countries. It's a European guideline for public governance. CAF stands for Common Assessment Framework. It's the quality management system for the public sector in the European Union. It is existing. It is here. It is well developed. It is a common work of experts and civil servants of European countries, member states, non-member states, together also with the European Institute of Public Administration. So it's a European model for public administration reform. Simply, it's a questionnaire. It's a questionnaire based on standards which have been developed by the member states or the European, selected European states. Not all the member states are participating. Of how a good public administration or how a good public sector organization should function. That's it. And so it combines many things which have already been said: leadership, public finances, accountability. You have it in there, and you have it as a kind of questionnaire which can be used by each public sector organization. Of course, it's not the big strategy approach, because it is a tool. It is a tool used by a ministry, by a local government, by regional government, by a department, whatever, to further develop, to further improve the own organization. So it's a European model. It's an overall check of the organization. It leads to improvements. It's a kind of self-assessment with this questionnaire. And in my view, one strength beside the European standards is that it is also involving the staff. So it has also a kind of, which has been discussed or mentioned before, the question of how do we get good leaders, how do we get good leadership, are the right people, are the right persons in the right places. In many cases you can say no, but with this tool you can try to enable the staff, to enable the leadership to be a good leadership and to work in the direction of good governance. So our understanding of the system is that it is the European guideline for excellent public management and excellent public organizations. So there is a system, there is a tool already existing. It is public sector reform, or public administration reform, and as I said, it is already existing, and it is a model which has been improved. It is existing since the year 2000, around the year 2000. The last version, it is also under development, because I'm talking about European standards, and the European standard in the year 2000, for example, on participation, on citizen involvement, or also on transparency, open data has been mentioned, was not the big issue in the year 2000, but meanwhile it is the big issue. So it is also a system which is an instrument which is always further developed together with the experts from the public administration. So those who are working on the field, those who really have to implement then administration reforms. Yes, and it is the initiator of change in the sense of initiating improvement process. Just quickly to the model, as I said, it's a questionnaire. It's about 200 questions. Within these questions, you have the European standards, I would like to mention, I would like to call them like that. I mean, officially they are not called like that. They are not called European standards or European values. But when you read it very intensively, then you see that they are inside transparency, a good leadership, open budget, and sustainable budget, human resource management based on development. And what is it about? It is all about getting better results, achieving excellence results. And these results have to be measured. And then we are, again, then we link to what we have been explained or discussed before, evidence-based management. Indicators. This is of course, inside this instrument, because when you want to have good results, for example, key performance results, how fast is a permission being done, then you have to measure this result. And when you measure this result, you're on the way to evidence-based management. So this is inside, but it is a kind of guideline how to get there. So it's about achieving results and the key performance results and the human resources or the people results, the citizen and customer results, and also on the social responsibility. How it gets to these results in having an overview of what the organization does and how the organization works. It's first the leadership, very important one, how to get the good stuff. It's again the human resources. It's a strategy, planning, we heard it already, of course. It's the resources, the budget, also partnerships, and it's the processes. So it's a model, it's an existing model, it's a model of quality management, including the values. Just briefly, in the European countries contributing or participating in CAF, we have a structure. This structure is, of course, connected to the European Union via the IPSG group, the Innovative Public Service Group, working together, of course, also with IPER, and then in the single countries, for example, in Austria, it's the Federal Chancellery. There is a so-called national correspondent responsible for the strategy, and in the best case, there is also a CAF center, a national CAF center, which in our case is the KDZ Center for Public Administration Research for implementing the strategy. So that's how it is connected to the European level. And from top down or bottom up, you always have the discussions, you always have the further developments, the discussion of what has changed maybe in the approach of public administration, what are the new standards which have to be implemented. The Austrian CAF Center is founded in the year 2000, and when we talk about, it has been mentioned before that from the city councillor of Vienna to get into the direction of a Danube governance hub. We see, for example, one instrument for this Danube governance hub where Vienna and the city of Vienna wants to support or network more intensively on public administration and good governance. Then CAF as one instrument is for us a very important one. Why using? Just read it quickly. You get better services. We know that from questionnaires. We know that from measurements, from evidence-based. We get improvement of the organizations. We have a recent survey done in Austria where we see that 70% of those who are using it have better services afterwards. The organization, not the country, of course. It has better communication skills internally and knowledge management, up to 70%. And better processes and services, that's what we want. That's what we need in the end from public administration reforms. We have a European label which comes with the CAF, so you can get the stamp and the sign for being an excellent European organization based on the CAF and based on excellence criteria. It's tailor-made for the public sector, and it's, as I already mentioned, a quick check of the organization. In Austria, we have 220 CAF users. I'm not so happy with it because there could be more. We have much more public sector organizations using in Austria, so could be a higher number. But nevertheless, we are compared to other European countries quite far. In total, this is in the database from IPA. We have about 4,000 CAF organizations in Europe, which is quite a number. I mean, not all of them are really intensively working on it, but they are interested and have registered and deal with the topic. So it's a power already. It's a power from the Spanish municipality to the Austrian ministry, and I'm not sure, but I have seen already in the morning the national correspondent of Slovakia. We will have in Bratislava in November also a European CAF conference done by our friends from Slovakia. We tried to set up a cooperation with RESPA. We did it already. We had some first workshops about this topic. We know that CAF is not something which is just going on in European Union countries. There are activities in Macedonia. Also first in Bosnia, Herzegovina, also in Serbia, maybe more. I heard now Albania. I'm not sure. I'm not so aware of it. But it's not. There is already many countries see the added value, and I think it should be connected more to public administration reform as efforts in the region. We want to use it as basis for the Danube Governance Hub. Just to give you a short impression. On the, let's say, as a result of the conference, we want to go together with the PA10 from the Danube strategy. The governance, let's say, the governance part of the Danube strategy, run by Vienna and Slovenia. We want to foster, increase our work with in the sense of public administration reform, starting with these CAF ideas, for example, with the Danube Governance Hub. More networking, more being open for discussions, for further developments, contributing to the efforts in public administration reforms, promoting the knowledge exchange, achieving synergies, and draw attention to the importance, what we had already also today, that there is also not just the national level concerned by public administration reform, but also the local level and also the regional level. And we want to foster European standards in this discussion. That's what we really want. And we see, based on the principles of public administration reform, based on the toolbox which is already existing, also with CAF, that's my heart, that there are already these standards and we have to bring them furthermore into the discussion. Also, when I see the cases of EPSA, I also see them as a kind of standard already for good public administration reform. In total, we want to contribute to the European integration process with this in the Danube region, because we think that this is really worth to do. So, thank you very much. This was my short introduction.